close eye on what's going on. It's clear that the economy around here has pretty much ceased to function. And the problem with economies is they're very, very tightly interlinked, and if one part of it isn't working, if the flow of trade is not happening in one place, and the buying of supplies and the paying of rent and all the other things that are going on are not happening, then it kills. And it kills jobs and it kills businesses, and the effects will be enormous. The other thing that kills, of course, is the tax base, which is the source of all the money which goes to pay for the National Health Service we all say that we love. But I would like to mention investigators. It reported and then quickly passed over, which is work by Professor Carl Hennigan of the Centre for Evidence-Based Medicine in Oxford, which he worked on a very simple thing. He said, when did the people who died of or with, we don't know, COVID-19, when did they actually die? And, of course, this is not the same. Well, I think there has been, and I think there's no question there's an awful lot of people who shut down without waiting to be told have now discovered that, first of all, that they did something they didn't need to do, and secondly, that when they ask, the word is, well, why do you shut down in the first place? You're free to open. Yeah. And so they are. And this will increasingly be so. Trevor Kavanagh in The Sun today is pretty much saying that the thing is over. The opening of his piece on page 14 of The Sun is right. The lockdown is over, not officially, not quite, but the dam is bursting. And I think that the reason for this is that the government knows perfectly well that if it tries to hold on much longer, it won't be able to hold the line. So all kinds of formal, informal, and semi-formal relaxations will be seen over the next couple of weeks as they try to maintain the illusion that the thing is still applying while letting rip. I would draw your attention to a fascinating letter which was published in the Sunday Times yesterday from Professor Sir Julian Legrand of the Marshall Institute of the London School of Economics. And he says that in the early 2000s, I was the health policy advisor in the number 10 policy unit. I received an alarming memo from public health officials about avian flu, suggesting it might be necessary to close down the country as we are doing now. Otherwise, there would be 7 million ministers who, not surprisingly, hit the roof. We then did some serious checking, recognized the absence of strong evidence, and made sure sense prevailed. The country remained open, and the epidemic, which he puts in inverted commas, went away. Experts tend to focus solely on their area of expertise. Epidemiologists naturally will emphasize potential loss of life due to an epidemic. Policymakers have to balance priorities, such as lives lost, against livelihoods destroyed.
Yes. We say, and I ask you to say with us, lift up your voices in this great meeting in the heart of England, and to all the world a message: England lives and marches on.